Fishing Obsessed podcast. We'll be sitting down with a fresh guest each week. Someone who shares the same kayak fishing passion that runs through our veins. We're talking kayak anglers, kayak companies, lure experts. Heck, anyone who's got a story to tell about landing the big ones from a kayak. We're setting our sights on becoming the #1 kayak fishing podcast in the world. You'll get a chuckle, a grin, and hey, maybe even a belly laugh. Because we believe in the power of humor. But above all, we're here to educate and inspire. So, whether you're a seasoned kayak angler or just dipping your toes into this exhilarating world, join us on the Kayak Fishing Obsessed podcast. It's time to reel in adventure, camaraderie, and the joy of the catch. Here's your host, Darren Wendell.
Hey, you fishing freaks. Welcome to episode number 122 of the Kayak Fishing Obsessed podcast, your ultimate source for all things kayak fishing. Tonight is going to be a banger. We're talking about the Big Fish Blueprint, Wyatt Hammond, a consistent hammer. We're going to try to figure out why, and we're going to try to figure out how. But before we get there, I want to thank the sponsor of the KFO show, Dark Horse Tackle. If you love the show, want to support it, check out darkhorsetackle.com. And I recently got my box, and they're doing something that I like. They're calling it Perfect Pairings. And so today I opened it up, and it came with this guy, spinner bait with 4 willow leaf blades on it. That looks freaking sweet. So this is going to come from Biz Baits, the custom fall fry spinner bait, 1/2 ounce snow. And then they're going to give you the trailer pairing for it as well. So this is a 3-inch swimming minnow. And so there's a variety of different pairings. Look forward to bringing more of those pairings with you. But head over to darkhorsetackle.com. This comes in their monthly box. Also, special thanks to a new channel member, Josh Myers. Thank you for being a channel member. If you're interested in supporting the channel, I got 3 levels. I got water heifers, hydraulic gorillas, boss hogs, all set up through YouTube. And I would love your support if you get value out of this channel or the podcast. Enough about all of that. Seth is not here tonight. He might just show up. He said, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to make it or not. So we'll see if he pops in or not. But I do have our guest tonight, Wyatt Hammond. Welcome to the show, brother. How you doing?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
I'm a little jealous. I'd love to have a backdrop just full of trophies falling on each other and checks falling. And I'm sure that's not even all of them.
Possibly some checks on the ground. And
yeah, possibly. You and Seth, Seth has like a stack of checks that's like 6 inches deep. It's like, I hate you guys and love you guys.
Well, I saw Ryan Matowitz's garage, and it was just literally as you could see. And I was like, I gotta do something about that.
I love it. Inspiration for sure. And that's kind of really how I got to know Wyatt. How I knew Wyatt wasn't through like an introduction or through friendship. It was like I fished a tournament, and at the awards ceremony, first place goes to Wyatt Hammond. Big fish goes to. I was like, when that happens every once in a while, you start to take notice. Like, I got to get this dude on the podcast. I need to start picking his brain because it's always fascinating to me. Like people who can go out there and they can just consistently hammer quality fish, and it's not accident, right? It doesn't happen by accident. It's a very thoughtful process, and we've had a variety of guests over the years come on and share it, and it's been fun to piece it all together. So I get this person come over here, and they'll share there. You piece this over here, and there's some overlaying like themes, and so hopefully you'll add some, maybe a few puzzle pieces that the listeners are missing. But Wyatt, tell us really quick for folks who may not know you yet, who's Wyatt Hammond on and off the water?
I mean, I'm through and through fishing. Like fishing just kind of consumes my life on and off the water. I work in a sporting goods store, and I go fish every other day that I'm off. So I could pan into that corner. There's probably 30 rods sitting right there in that corner.
30. Come on.
Rods all over the place right there in that corner. So I just love to fish. I've grown up fishing. I mean, obviously got the same story as everybody else, sitting on the dock in Santee Cooper with my grandpa dunking crickets with a cane pole.
Mm-hmm.
It's like my earliest fishing memory, and going on from there, getting into bass fishing whenever I was 16, and they let me in the tournaments. And then jumped into the boat world for a little while, blew up my boat motor, and
how'd that happen?
to buy a new motor. Oh, that was old Optimaxes, and I ran it. You either idle or pedal to the floor, and I pedaled to the floor a little too much.
All right.
So, yep.
So you upgraded to a fishing kayak. How long ago was this?
So I've had kayaks off and on for about 10 years now, because while I had my bass boat, I had a little just $200 Walmart kayak that I had, just a little sit on top just to go fish saltwater, because I used to live down in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
And I'd go harass flounder and stuff like that all the time. And over time, it just went from like I had the $200 kayak, and then I had my eyes on that $400 kayak, and finally upgraded to the $400 kayak, and then I finally upgraded to the $600 kayak, and then about 4 years ago, I jumped into the Old Town Big Water PDL.
Okay.
Dropped the $3,000 on that one and took off ever since.
Nice. And you've been with Old Town ever since.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So I'm excited. I recently got my hands on the Old Town PDL Pro, the new one that came out, and so I only was able to get into it a few times. And like my kids had a snow day today, which is that's how hard and fast this cold came through, and I started to see ice in some of the ponds nearby. Was able to get it out on Lake Erie, handled well. Pedal drive is solid. I'm looking to get a Tarova as a bow mounted motor, and a few other things that are coming down the pike. So far, I'm a fan. It's like, man, this thing is pretty comfy. It can hold everything I want it to hold. So this is nice little lake fish, really comfortable lake fishing rig.
Yep.
Surprisingly
fast for it too.
It is fast. I'm like, what the crap? This pedal drive's moving.
I was out on my autopilot on 10. I was out there on 10, and my buddy was next to me. He had the he had the Pro going, and just kind of just letting it pedal itself, and he's just slowly pulling away from me. I'm like, that thing is that fast.
Yeah. So do you still have you still in the big rig, or are you
upgraded
a few others?
So I still have the big water. That's what I won the first KBF championship out of, and called Chickamauga and things. So I kind of got sentimental on that one. So I've still got that one floating around, and I use that one for saltwater here and there. I was actually out in it about a month ago. I want to say about a month ago I was out in it. I took it out. So got that one. I got the 120 Pro, and then the 136 autopilot is the tournament boat.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it. So this is the KFO show, Kayak Fishing Obsessed. Walk us through kind of your rig. What you got on motor, not motor? Like how's it set up, or something maybe unique to you that you don't see in a lot of other kayaks?
So it's just the autopilot 136, and then I finally went dual graphs. I finally went all in with the dual graphs earlier this year, about, I want to say June or so, just to kind of get ready for Champlain, because I knew that would be scoping. So I threw another graph on there so I could have live scope and a graph, and live scope and a mapping on there. So I kind of custom built.
One's full mapping, the other's full live. You don't share screens, just one on one.
No, I tried sharing screens, and it just crosses my brain. So I've got one for maps, one for live, or I'll have one for maps and one for side scan. I thought it would be cool to have like 10 inches of left side scan and 10 inches right, but it couldn't wrap my brain around it. It stretched everything out too much and just looked weird to me after staring at that screen for 5 years. So
Lowrance, Humminbird, or Garmin?
Humminbird Solixes.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Yep. So
you're messing around. This guy loves fishing, folks.
I mean, I didn't go all out with the Apex. I tried to tone it down a little bit, but I custom built a bridge up there. Just ordered a 36-inch chunk of aluminum off Amazon and made my own bridge. It cost like $35.
Don't they like make those? You just wanted to DIY it?
Yep. See if I could. So I've got that. I didn't do anything too crazy. I've got a Summit live scope mount off to my left, so I can kind of control live scope with my left hand and cast and everything with my right. And then behind me, I just bring a Yeti Go Box 30.
Yep.
That's all my tackle. That's everything I've got in there. And then I got a Yeti Go Box 15 for like my batteries and things like that. So I run the GoPro. I've got some spare emergency equipment off the little Yeti Go Box 15, like my ePerb, spare batteries for the remote, for the lights. I've got spare Sharpies and things like that in there. Actually I turned it into a battery box by drilling holes and everything in it, and putting USB ports and stuff on there. So it's a kind of a wild little Yeti box now. And then so I try and keep it relatively simple with just four rods whenever I go out. Occasionally I'll bring 5, but try and keep it down to just 4, and nothing overly wild. I try and keep it super simple.
I got some comments over here. This is where I miss Seth. Seth, where are you at? I need to come over here, and there's a lot of questions and comments. So I'm gonna head over here and we're gonna do it.
10-inch screens, dual 10s.
There you go, dual 10s.
Yep.
There you go. Someone says I'm in a $400 kayak right now. Heck yeah, man.
Hey,
nothing wrong with that.
So many fish. I caught so many flounder out of that $400 kayak.
I picked up I found it in the river, in a tributary of the Ohio River, was a Sun Dolphin Aruba 10. It makes a showing once or twice a year when I literally need a throw and go, and by throw and go I mean literally I throw and go in that thing.
It's pretty good when you cut it in half and put it in the for your boat.
Oh yeah, for a bass, it's so small and light I could throw it the back of the Old Town and move it around. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Bass AF817. I'm a 5-rod guy.
Exactly.
So that's interesting because a lot of do you like when you go pre-fishing, you still go out with 4 or 5, or do you go out with 8 and then by tournament day you dial down to 1, 2, or 3?
Well, 4 or 5 during practice and everything. So I try and keep it hey, I'm going to go out and I'm going to focus on these handful of lures, and then I'm going to focus on it. Kind of constricts my brain down to not getting kind of overly scatterbrained of hey, that looks good over there. Let me grab this rod and go fish it. And then I get over there and it doesn't work. And I'm hey, let's go fish over there. And I can grab another rod. It kind of keeps you on track when I only have a couple. And I've got some multi-part purpose stuff. So my chatterbait rod, I can throw a square bill or something like that on there if I need to. So I've got, I'll bring a couple extra lures throughout the day just to kind of back up stuff. But by tournament day, usually I try and have it narrowed down to, I'm bringing 4, but I'm probably only fishing with 1 or 2.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't fish a lot of tournaments, but I found myself doing that at the KBF Nationals, which I got spanked by you and about 20 other people, 23. I finished 24 out of 100. Not incredibly bad, but if you looked at my boat on Friday morning, I think that's when the national tournament was.
Yeah.
I might have had 6 rods, but 5 of them were variations of chatterbaits on different setups, and so had the jackhammer and then the Evo and then the big blade to slow it down a little bit. I was just going. I always usually have some type of major malfunction. I'm okay, this is just, I got to deal with this later. I don't feel like dealing with it now. That's why I bring so many.
Still been working on chatterbaits this year. But I finally got I finally pried some info out of Abby and Jody that they have the same thing. They have the Evo and the jackhammer because the Evo comes over wood better and the jackhammer comes through grass better. So depending on what they're casting at, they'll pick one rod.
This show could be worth it right there, folks. If you just took that little nugget, because those guys are freaking hammers as well. Had Jody on the show a couple weeks ago on the latest cheater scandal. If you haven't heard that one or listened to that one, head over there. It's not just live on YouTube either. You can go to wherever you iHeartMedia or Spotify or Apple. You can rip through these as well. All right, I'm gonna switch gears on you over here. What's on you really briefly mentioned when I'm not working, I'm fishing, and I love it. Right. So literally, you're a guy who's on the water 200+ days a year.
Try to, yeah.
I love it. So what's a normal fishing week look like for you right now? And I'm talking hours, prep, scouting. Where do you live? Type of deal, and how far are you traveling? Or
right now I'm in central North Carolina, so Fayetteville. I'm a couple hours east of Charlotte, so I'm about 3 hours from Lake Norman.
Okay,
it depends on how I'm feeling. I mean, I'll drive about 3 hours or so just on the day just to go fishing. I'll go run fish Lake Norman, or I'll go fish Tyco or something 2.5 hours away. I like that hour and a half range, but I mean, if I'm feeling feisty, I'll go to Norman or something. If it gets really, really cold and I feel like I can go out there without being run over by a million ski boats or something like that, go out there, just chase some spots and things like that too.
Love it. This guy's got it bad. That's all. I'm kind of piecing it together. You don't have that many trophies and checks behind you, and if you haven't been doing it for a long time, usually, and 2. You have the time to put into it, and you figured some things out over your lifetime. I love it. Trevor Wagner's nugget programmed into the brain now. I will say that's an expensive nugget to program into your brain. Evos, I imagine, are you maybe using the elites? Did you were able to pry that out of them?
Started
Tungsten or
getting
lead?
a lot of the tungstens. They like a lot of the tungstens.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, $15, $16, and the jackhammer's $15, $16.
That's if you find them on sale.
Yeah.
My goodness, I love it. What else have we got here? Wyatt, what's your favorite place to fish? Coming in from Bass AF 817.
I do kind of like Guntersville right now. I mean, it kind of rotates based on what like I like the Tennessee River, the Chickamauga, Nickajack, all that for summertime stuff.
Okay.
Guntersville in the fall. I enjoy going to Florida in the spring. The fish down there don't love me, but I enjoy going down there just to kind of that change of pace, punching, and fishing underspins over the grass and things like that.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of places I like to fish. I mean, at least here in North Carolina, it's Lake Waccamaw, White Lake. I used to like Harris, but it's kind of off and on.
All right. So when you travel, and so you've hit a lot of the major lakes and stuff, but I'm sure there's lakes from time to time you come across. You're like, haven't fished this before. Yep. What is going through your mind, and what are you actively doing before you even hit the water, prep wise?
With the new stuff, it's map study. It's like for Lake Fork this spring, I was watching Lake Fork videos the year before. I mean, like the second I found out I was qualified 6-8 months before, I'm watching every video I possibly can of Lake Fork, just kind of getting the lay of the land, getting what it usually takes to win, what the guys are doing, pinging minnows everywhere. But I mean, it's a lot of pre-work beforehand, and then it gets down to map study of like what the seasonal trends are. Spring, you've got the fish kind of going towards the back of the creek. So where are they going to stage? What major pieces of structure are they going to stage on? Points, humps, stuff like that. And then just kind of summertime is going to be main river channel or a little bit deeper water and big flats and things like that, and just kind of map study from there. So I mean, it's fairly intense. Like I've right now I've had Bassmaster on getting ready for next year. I mean, it's just
all right. So this is peeling back the onion a bit. Like I said, does not happen by accident. And for those of you who are listening in, you can't see the blue Lake Fork trophy sitting right behind Wyatt as the champion for 2025. So congrats on that win, my man. But that win didn't happen on that day specifically. It started a year beforehand, you're saying. How many hours would you say that you just watch video on Lake Fork? And I'm serious. This is really fascinating to me.
So whenever Bass started doing the full live, like they were putting the whole 8 hours on there, I'm watching day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and then watching day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4 again. Just like having it on in the background just daily, and then going through any other videos I can watch of there. There's tons of guides and things like that down there, but I really like the Bassmaster coverage of what they have going on, because they break it down fairly well. But getting that whole intense, just 8 straight hours on the water is that helps a lot.
So hundreds of hours,
yeah,
just in video watching. Not even like map study. You're not even to map study.
Yep.
No, I think this is great, because the title of the show is The Big Fish Blueprint: How to Catch Giants on Purpose, Not by Accident. And what I meant by that is, like, you might go out, you might catch a really sick 6-pounder, but can you catch a 6-pounder, a 5-pounder, a 6-pounder, a 5 and a 4?
So I think one of the ones is like Murray. So watching Murray, you start to watch all the Murray videos and you start to see the catch logs of what Bass puts up. And I start seeing that, like, hey, all the 4+ pound fish are at the lower end of the lake. Just, year after year after year, you see these giant, like, they start to stack up at the lower end of the lake. And I go, I'm going to concentrate on that part of the lake, whether it's something that I'm really, really good at or something that's not. Like, I need to focus in that section of the lake, because that's where historically everybody is catching them.
So if this information is so widely available, do you still have people going to different parts of the lake, or are they looking at the same information that you are, or is it just not compiled yet and you are literally like guerrilla warfaring this information from the deep, dark corners of the internet?
It's a lot of getting out of my comfort zone of just like, I might not want to go there. I might want to, go throw a jig on docks all day long. But if that's not the trend, then that's not the trend. I got to kind of force myself to get away from it. But I mean, the information's it's out there. There's so much information out there, but just putting it all together it's a lot of work.
Yeah. I mean, it's hours and hours, hundreds of hours of work. Do you have like spreadsheets that you're tracking all this information, or are you just kind of keeping it in your brain and piecing it together?
In my brain and it's all scrambled up there.
No, it's interesting because we've had other hammers on the show who also have blue trophies behind them, and it's almost the same story time and time again. It's not like, hey, I worked a 5-day week and I didn't do any pre-fishing and I went out there and I got lucky. That doesn't happen. Sorry, it doesn't happen anymore. It's guys like you who respect the crap out of you. You're putting in the work, right? And it's showing. But that is a major theme. And Seth, my co-host, who's going to like kick himself tonight for not being here because he loves tournament fishing. Fished a couple. Do you know Seth? You probably fished against him.
Probably.
Some of the Bassmasters. Yeah. He was close. He got second. He was close to winning the Bassmaster Trophy champion. Finished twice top 5 in Bassmaster. I was like, oh my gosh, bro, your time is soon. But he does the same thing. He's watching Bassmaster. He's doing all the same things that you say you're doing. And it's probably a lot of the work that most people don't want to do.
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Beyond the watching the videos, beyond the map study, a lot of it is going out to the lake and literally I stare at my graphs. I will ride around and stare at my graphs. I see Justin's in the chat.
Oh, ask him in here?
Yep, he's in here. How many hours did I just drive around and stare at my graphs on Nick and Jack as opposed to fishing? I mean, it was 6 hours of literally just riding down the river channels and 30 minutes a day during practice of fishing.
Okay, so this is fascinating, and I've seen a few people do this. I went out fishing with Chad in Austin, and I'm fishing, Chad's fishing, and I look over at Austin. He's just literally just cruising. It's like, what's he doing? He's just scanning. Just scanning. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, that's so you'll literally see this is also probably where a lot of other anglers just couldn't do it. One, most anglers don't get to get out in the water as much as you do, so that's one thing. So when they're on the water, they want to be fishing because it increases their chances just catching a fish, not necessarily a big fish. But man, you're going out there cruising for 6. You're burning a day.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
Especially that Tennessee River. So I mean, a lot of that Tennessee River stuff during the summertime. I know that there's groups of fish out there. I'm going to scan every single river ledge that I possibly can and find those little tiny nooks and crannies and stuff where their schools will set up. And then like even at Lake Fork, I mean, I saw a bunch of that stuff in the map study and just scanning over every single little piece of it instead of sitting there. I could have pulled up and cast, pull up and cast, but just kind of scanning it, trying to find the best little spots that are on there. It's hours. It's agonizing. Sometimes it's agonizing. Sometimes it's cool to sit there and look at the graphs, especially like I know a couple years ago I was scanning in Florida and I found one of those mega school spots and you can see 10-pounders sitting on the bottom. Just like,
really? Wow. Yeah. Justin says burning a day. He spent a work week scanning. So you go out for more than just one day. This is I've heard a lot of people. I've never heard this type of theme where they go out and just scan. That'd be tough for me to do. So what you're creating for yourself so far, what we've got for those of you who are kind of meeting us halfway through the podcast, you were spending hundreds of hours watching videos. You were spending more hours when your map studies. You're just looking at like year over year Google Earth stuff and like.
So I've got the what was it called? The One Boat Network from Humminbird. Mm-hmm. And it's got the maps, and of course it's going to block it out on there, but it's got the maps and everything. I can pull up the maps of most of the bodies of water around here, and I can just sit there and I can just stare at maps all day on my phone, scroll around and look at them. Like, let's see.
Do you get any work done, or this is all you do all day? Just looking at
I
maps.
tell people I get work done.
Just not the work they're paying you for.
Exactly. Like, let's see. There you go. There's your Lake Fork spot right there.
Okay. Is that relief shading I'm looking at?
Yeah, I changed that as well, depending on what I need. So I change the colors on the graph. I'll highlight 5 foot and less, or 12 to 15 foot during post spawn, things like that. Relief shading helps quite a bit.
Okay.
But yes, doom scrolling maps.
Bass AF, doom scrolling maps. I like it.
Doom scroll TikTok. I do doom scroll maps.
That's is there like a TikTok where it's just maps? And you can just scroll down and people explain.
There's $1 million idea.
I'm telling you, that would go. If all you did was interpret maps on fish finders on TikTok, I'm telling you, you wouldn't have to work the job.
The rainbow of maps. You just show me a point on a lake, and I'll tell you what lake it's on.
Yeah. Then people submit them to you. I'm telling you, you don't have to work wherever you're working. You can go fishing every single day. Freaking love it. All right, so you got hundreds of hours. You have map studies. When you're working, when you're not working, you're looking at maps. What do you look? You're looking for all the places, all the juicy spots they set up. And then in pre-fishing, you're not even fishing. You're just driving around your boat. You're looking for the spots you want to fish. So you're really creating a mental milk run.
Yeah. I spend a lot of time, like 3 or 4 casts, run 5 minutes, 3 or 4 casts, run 5-10 minutes, 3 or 4 casts, run.
Are you just looking on your scope to see if they're hungry? Is that what essentially you're doing?
Just on most of it side scan. I'm still working on scope. Yeah.
Oh, so you're just looking at structure stuff. You're just trying to find. Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Are you hooked up with like a dummy lure? You're just seeing if they're biting, or what are you doing? Are you actually trying to catch something?
Yeah, actually trying to catch them.
Okay.
Yeah, whenever I find a spot,
too hard. You're 5 casts and you're gone for an hour.
I will say that is one of the things that live scope showed me is because I really worked on my live scope in the spring and everything, trying to get ready for Champlain. Like, this more of the work, but like last fall I started dabbling with it, and then the spring and everything I really started really working with live to get ready for Champlain. That was a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it showed me how the fish react to stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the biggest thing that I've seen with that is it shows me, like, I can make a cast with a lure, and even if it's clear water, dirty water, all the fish know that the lure's there, and they're gonna either swim over and eat it, or they're gonna ignore it. And you can sit there and you can try and make them eat it, or you can just go, I'm gonna go a couple minutes over here to another spot where I can make one cast and the fish is gonna bite.
All right. So let's stay here for a minute, because I just picked up Lowrance's Eagle Eye 9. And so it's kind of what I call budget forward facing sonar. And there's a variety of things it does and a variety of things it doesn't do. But nonetheless, you can see stuff down there. I think that's freaking sweet.
You use it, learn it, time on the water.
100%. And so my question for those who are thinking about maybe dipping their toes into the cheaper version of FFS, what is that process like? Because it sounds like you just went through it. And so
it was a lot of, like, I expected, you watch bass, you watch Jacob Wheeler throw a minnow, and he sees a spot, you throw a minnow, he immediately catches a fish.
Immediately, every time.
That's not what it, like, I'm sitting there trying to figure out, like, it's a lot of hours of, like, is that shape moving like a bass? Is it swimming like a catfish? Does it look like a crappie? And then if I throw a lure at it, 99% of the time, it's just going to watch it go by and not do anything because they're carp. But once I started catching bass on it, it started showing me, like, how when you cast a lure onto a point and there's bass on there, or you skip it under a dock and there's bass under there, those fish react to it. Like, they know it's there. And you can kind of tell if, like, you'll see a couple, like, if there's a bunch of fish there, you'll see some kind of reaction. If they're carp, they don't move or anything like that. If they're bass, they'll kind of notice it. And you can see them kind of move a little bit, or they'll angle each other. You can see them turn.
Yeah.
And they'll kind of know that it's there. And you kind of start to pick up on, if I throw a lure in there and these fish start swimming towards it, well, eventually I can probably get one or two to bite. If they swim over there and they just stare at it for a second and then they swim off, I'm not going to sit there and mess with those. A lot of the times, those fish that are hungry, you're going to cast a lure in there. It's going to hit the bottom. Those fish are going to come over and hit it.
So I've heard this happen. I was actually speaking with Austin Hoover, who's a menace.
Live scope, yeah.
With live scoping, an absolute menace. And he was like, when I first got it, I don't know if it was him, but we were having a conversation. He's like, some guys will spend an hour. Oh, they'll spend an hour going after the one fish.
Yeah.
He's like, now I don't cast no more than 5 times before I'm moving on.
Yep.
And so that's what you're saying. It's highly, what you're saying, your odds to go significantly down.
Yeah.
If you can't get them to bite on a couple different variations over a period of 5 casts, just move along. And so you were reinforcing that. Interesting. So if I'm throwing under, see, I've had luck. So riddle me this. I've had luck. I'm going Fish Gunnersville, a lot of docks, and these docks are nothing like up here in Ohio. In Ohio, I throw a lure under a dock, and the dock is literally just the gang plank.
Yeah.
Right. There's like fit like 17 boats inside of these. These things are huge. And so I'm thinking, I cast a lure. It's so, if you guys are Fish Gunners before, like all these boat owners don't want you fishing on their docks. So they always drop these like grates and try to they're trying to reinforce it with wood. And so I'm like, sweet. If I see a hole that's maybe twice the size of my lure, I'm going for it. Yeah. I'm just going for it. It's like you're now just challenging me. But of course, usually the place you can get in is where the boats go in and out, because a lot of times those metal grates are rusted out or whatever it is, and if you can skip well, you can get it up in there. But what I found luck with was, if I go over here, fish that main area, then I go around to the other side because they're so large, and I fish that area. Like sometimes I'll catch one on the back side. So what is happening if you were to have live scope? What would you tell me is happening in that moment? So
those fish on the back at Gunnersville, those fish that were on the back, they were in the mornings and afternoons. They were up against the bank chasing shad, and they were riding that walkway back under the dock as the sun came up. Okay, I guess I need to fish those. I need to fish those gangplanks because they're the back part of the. I'll say that. Did I lose you? I think we lost him. I think we lost him. We can go back through the chat though. So I saw water clarity question, backwoods. You had the water clarity question. I stick with kind of brown, black and blue for the most part. Brown and black and blue. I don't really know how to explain it super well, but if I can see the lure, 1.5 foot, 2 foot down, if I can see into the water a little bit, I'm going to go with brown. I'm going to try and get away with brown as best I can. If if there's about 1 foot or so less, then we're rolling black and blue. You back with us? I thought everybody was gone. I'm surprised you're even still on here. All the juice. I saw my shot, and I just dropped all the juice on everybody while you were gone. Dang it. Now I got to go watch it. Oh, I'm sorry. Like you went blank. I went blank. The whole StreamYard shut down for me, and I came back, and you're over here sharing nuggets. I took over the stream. Hey, you know what? You could have taken it. I would have been fine. My gosh. Sorry about that, folks. What were we talking about? I figured you're talking about the gangplanks. Yeah, I don't ever fish the long ones, but it sounds like in the morning as they're making their way, that makes sense. Yep. I just had the video 2 days ago, day or two ago. I just dropped the video of the national championship. So there's a couple docks in that one. I'm sure. Wyatt, when live scoping, what's your go-to lure? Which minnow? We coming in from hot? I don't usually minnow too much with live scope. I'm throwing bottom fishing stuff. I mean, if I'm throwing a minnow, it's those Z2s and the freeloaders and things like that. Mm-hmm. I do like the little Oshikar, the little spin heads, the little ones that have the blade at the front. I do really like those and underspins just because they show up really, really well on live. But I don't throw a minnow too often, actually. And we lost him again. Yep, not too much on the minnow. I live scope bottom fishing stuff. I like to live scope bottom fishing stuff. I'm usually scoping at least what I usually use it for is like less than 10 foot of water is what I'm throwing the scope. It's enough water where this fish can follow it right down to the bottom.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm sure that was really excellent information, but once again, my computer's kicking me off. But it's all right because Wyatt keeps on rocking it out. Utopia over here. What's he saying? It hasn't changed my style of fishing. You're 100% right. Just another tool in the bag. Helps us get through the dead water.
Yeah.
Like eliminating spots where you see no fish.
Yep. Live scope. Hasn't changed the way you fished.
Now, have you noticed? Because I had Fluke Master on last week. Have you noticed once Live Scope came out, are you not fighting so much for spots on the bank and on the docks because all of the boats, especially on a lake as large as Guntersville?
At Guntersville, I didn't have a single boat in front of me most of the days. I could go fish whatever dock I wanted.
And I was back in a pocket, fairly popular, accessible by boats. And I maybe saw one boat. And then I was driving over the causeways and I'm looking out to my left and looking out to my right, which I would just imagine they're fishing the channels out in open water. And I think I counted 15 boats staring down at the screen.
Yeah.
And so Fluke was like, I love it. I got all my spots back. I don't have competitions for all these honey holes in shallow, which most people, more shallow, which a lot of times is where kayak anglers are fishing. And so that's what
I had everything turned off. I had everything turned off by that point. I turned my sonar off. I turned everything off. I had the maps on my screen, but I had turned everything else off and was just rolling by that.
So have you noticed, and I've heard this from some people, and I always like to ask it for those who run the sonar, especially for the larger fish, do you ever notice when you scan them, they're picking up on those pings?
Side scan?
I've been here before, and I know how this ends.
Side scan? Not really.
Not side scan, more
live scope.
Yeah.
I think once you get close to them, within like 30, 40 feet,
okay,
they start to tell. I mean, but you still have the fish chase it all the way to the boat and eat it right at the boat. So I think it's a mix, but yeah, I'd say 30 or 40 feet away or so.
You're saying yes?
Yeah, definitely a different chirp.
All right, interesting. Yeah, Justin, how far into the docks were you catching? Which I have a feeling this is a softball question just for you to answer him because you guys are teammates, right? He knows how far into the docks you were catching them. But
2 inches under the dock.
2 inches of water. They're just sitting there. I just dropped my hook
bouncing it off the side of the dock and just letting it fall. And if you hit the pontoon, even better, just let it fall right there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I heard a few bangs some mornings. Like, oh, I wonder where the angler was. I know where they're at now. Oh my gosh. So to answer that question, how deep were you catching them in? How far into the dock? Were you skipping or deep?
As far as you can get it up under there. I mean,
100%.
20, 30 feet up under it.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I was skipping a Senko under there, and as far as I can get it back in there. And I had one.
Can you get them out with the Senko? That's the question.
Well, when you run straight braid, you can. I was running fluorocarbon leader, and I lost one. It took me off from the dock. The other one, it went to one dock. I had to finesse him out. He went to the other, the pylon, had to finesse him out. I got him out. He was a 20, which is pretty good. There's only 35, 40 20s caught that weekend through 100 anglers. So not too bad. All right. If you got a question for, I figured the same place you were.
Bunches of them.
Yeah.
Side scan, I like structure. I'm looking for structure. It's hard to see fish on side scan. I'm looking for the stuff because I run my side scan at 90 feet, so 90 feet on each side, and you're looking for a fish that's 16 inches long on a screen. This fish is only going to be yay big. So I'm looking for rock piles. I'm looking for a different thing on whatever I'm scanning.
All right. If you got another question for Wyatt, go ahead and throw that in the comment section. I'm going to move down.
Carolina rigs, can't do it. I can't do it. I can't fish that slope.
Let me see here. Here's a couple questions I have for you. What do you think one of the most misunderstood things about big bass behavior is? What like you're sitting around, or maybe you can hear it in the comment section, or you see videos on it, and you're like, I just don't think that's true in most scenarios.
They're going to take the best piece of structure every single time, and you like a lot of times you're going to get in there after them. Like you have that gigantic lay down, and people like to fish, around the outside and stuff like that. They're going to be dead center of it. They're going to be inside that. At least out there on Gunnersville, where there's tons of fishing pressure, those bigger fish were dead center of that heavy cover. And
so this is interesting, because most anglers, they're like, nope, not doing it. I'm going to lose it. I don't have to
hung up all the time. It's not fun to fish, but on those places with that super heavy fishing pressure, those fish they're gonna push back in there.
So when you say the best piece of structure, that was one.
Yeah,
one piece. What are the places that most anglers aren't willing to go? One, a lot of anglers, they can't skip. They don't know how to skip. I found out, which is really interesting. So skipping docks, they're also throwing to the outside pylons where everybody else and their mom is
throwing. Going around to the backs of a lot of the docks.
Yeah, all the boats. They just run the fronts.
Yeah, skipping up under from the back, and I was catching a lot of good fish doing that. And then the where I caught all my big fish at Gunnersville was punching those eelgrass mats that were blown up under the dock. Like you had to like get under the dock and through the grass mat.
Okay. And it wasn't, how deep are you looking? Like 4 or 5 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. So you had to
if that.
essentially skip it as hard as you could, and then drop it into where, was the eelgrass still growing under there, or was it like a dead spot because the
eelgrass was growing up to the edges of the docks, and then underneath was cleaned out. But you'd have these big mats that were kind of stuck up against the pilings and things that the wind had just blown in.
Yeah.
And you could punch those, and that's where I was catching this 20. I caught a couple of over 20 doing that. And it's just like
the cut up grass.
Yeah.
Pushed up against the pile on the
it's
pile.
Just that stuff that's hard to fish.
Yeah. And that's why most people fish next to it, beside it, or skip it altogether.
Yeah.
No, this is I think this is going to be an excellent. If you're out there and you fish Gunnersville or anywhere really that has docks, this is you'd have to change really your mentality, because most kayak anglers, they're just gonna skip into the door, right? Yep. Oh, nothing in there.
Boat slip.
Yeah, they're gonna the boat slip where literally 15 other people probably that morning also skipped, and so it takes time, and if it's windy, it's a little bit irritating. Go all the way around the other side, and
go all the way around the back of it where it's this deep, and you're
100%.
in the grass, and
if you got a pedal drive, you're just like, oh, here we go again, and you just keep do that. There's you got to do it twice for each dock potentially. Most people skip that hole, but you're just saying this is what won you a tournament. Love it. Yeah. Freaking love it. Any other misunderstood things about big bass behavior that you're like, hey, you know what? This is not what I've seen.
I'll say somebody threw it in the chat. Throw a big bait. I was talking to like years and years and years ago, whenever I fished the co-angler side in one of the clubs in South Carolina, whenever I was growing up, I was like my nickname in there was the Drop Shot King, and I could never win. I'd catch a bunch of fish and things like that. And I was talking to Steve Kennedy one time, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? I was like, I can't seem to win these tournaments. And he's like, well, what do you fish with? I'm like, a drop shot and a shaky head. He's like, well, duh. He's like, throw something bigger.
Okay. So
catches big fish, but upsized lures.
So what are you? Let's talk a little bit more tactical into some of the lures that you're using. You were punching, and so he's got a handful of them. All right, this is some of my favorite times. What's the juice that they're catching in on?
Handful of jigs right here. Sorry.
So do you make your own jigs, or do you have a favorite company?
Jigs. I make my own jigs. I used to buy mop jigs, but I make my own. And then
what did you used to buy?
I used to buy the Buckeye lure mop jigs.
Okay.
But I make my own now.
All right. I thought I had it in my Dark Horse Tackle. I've received things from Buckeye.
What else have we got for the Tennessee River?
All right, so go back to your jigs. Walk us through, like, you make your own. Is it wire tied? What type of rubber? Is it living rubber? Walk us through your mindset on the type of jig that's perfect for your style of fishing. And
for my stuff, I hand tie them all. I use living rubber. Let's find a good one here. So one that I haven't beat up against all the docks. There we go. So I hand tie it. I just use braid just because it's kind of you can wire tie it, but I like putting that little bit of flash of blue on there, just personality. Gives a little personality.
All right.
And then so it's living rubber with a crayfish color skirt. I'd say just a little bit of orange, a little bit of green in there, a little bit of red, kind of works for everything. I've got a gigantic hook on there.
That is massive.
The biggest hook I could find is a 5/0 hook. I mean, compared to like a little 2 or 3/0. Let's see, they show up here. All right, a little 2 or 3/0, probably not, but the biggest.
Try putting your hand behind it. A lot of times that'll help show it.
The biggest hook I can get on there. Let's see. Yeah, I can't see it, but like a little 2/0 versus a 5/0. Just the biggest one I've got on there, 1/2 ounce, so that I can skip it up under docks. Mm-hmm. And then, like I was saying on the last podcast, the vertical line tie, having that line tie straight up and down makes it roll across wood and everything a lot better than a horizontal line tie like that one right there. So you've got, here we go, horizontal versus a vertical.
Looks like you had a pontoon with the one on the. You're right.
One or two. We got a couple teeth marks on it.
I love it.
Yeah, I've got the one on Gunnersville with, what I one on Murray with, and then what I one on Fork with.
All right, so you're a jig fisherman.
It's quite a bit. Jig on docks, jig in heavy cover, jig on live scope, jig on ledges, and any of that stuff. Anywhere I can throw it. Football jigs in deep water, and then that jig anywhere else.
I love me a jig bite, so you don't talk me too much into it. If you had to, if someone was like, hey, you're fishing tournament, you're not allowed to make your own jigs for whatever stupid reason, which ones would you buy?
If I had to buy one, it'd be the Buckeye mop jigs or the greenfish, what is it, the big rubber. I think it's the big rubber jig.
Okay.
They make a skipping jig, but it's got half a skirt and it kind of gets a little crazy.
Interesting.
But I like this living rubber with the skirt on the inside, because whenever it hits the bottom, that skirt will sit there and it'll just kind of bracket the bait, and the bait sitting in the dead center of that, because it'll perfectly sit just like that and hide. It looks like a big old meal. Yeah, it'll hide the hook, it'll hide the weed guard. It makes it look a little bit bigger. It makes it look a little bit more aggressive. Yeah.
Now, Gian last week, 2 weeks ago, actually, he's like, he uses living rubber as well. And so it's interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe another tip in there, some themes that we're seeing. Squirrel fishing guy. Heavy. Good tip on vertical and horizontal.
Yeah. Horizontal is good for rock. I found it works pretty well through rock, but it gets hung up on every stick that you throw it up against. And skipping under docks, that vertical one will make it just roll across everything. You can throw this into brush piles all day long and not get hung up on it.
Nice.
And then that's super, like, I like a really, really light weed guard. I want to be able to just kind of reel into them.
I like it.
Yeah. Nothing crazy, because I'm fit. I kind of fish that through. I'm not like reeling it or anything like that. That super light weed guard just lets it kind of, I can feel it coming across everything. I can just feel it roll over everything. So
yeah, if you can finesse your jig a little bit, you don't have to worry about getting it caught up.
Yep.
All right. I like it. Squirrel said, "There's my issue. Thank you." I like it. What's your setup for your jigs? What's your rod reel line?
So,
when are you changing? What's going on there in your mind?
So rod is the Loomis, the NRX 894. It's a heavy action.
Homie's not messing around, folks. Told you he loves fishing.
I was like my whole how I process this in my head, how I say this is worth it.
Justify is the word you're looking for. Yeah.
I don't get to fish as much as I want to fish. So whenever I go out there, I don't want to have to worry about my rod not being sensitive enough. I don't want to have to worry about it not being the right action. I don't want to have to worry about my reel. I don't want to have to worry about my line breaking. I don't want to have to worry about any of the stuff. I want to go out there. The few days that I get to fish, I need all of my equipment to work 100%.
The few hundred days I get to fish a year, I need it to work every single time. That is the best justification I think I've ever heard in the world. In fact,
I need
John
all
Molnar,
that stuff to work.
No, I love it. John Molnar
break off a fish. I'm gonna be mad because that was my one or two or 100 days that I get to fish.
Yeah. It's so good. John Molnar said, Wyatt, ever think about selling your own signature jig? Because I got a credit card my wife doesn't know about. Hey, there you go. There you go. You can take your 200 days a year and make it 365 days a year.
John, you show me how to catch fish out there on Sandy River, and I'll come up there and trade you.
There you go. Trade jigs for information.
So the NRX 894, it's a fast, not an extra fast, heavy action rod. Extra fast is nice, but for a lot of that, where you might be setting the hook kind of hard close to you, I want it to fold a little bit more, so just a little bit more give on there. Because extra fast is nice. It might whip the jig a little bit faster. It might be a pinch more sensitive, but I need, whenever I set the hook and that fish is 10, 15 feet away, I want the rod to actually fold over pretty well. And then reel is just a Shimano Metanium 8.3.
You aren't messing around. Yeah. Oh gosh.
I didn't go.
One of the most expensive combos I've heard of in a while. My gosh.
And then the some 20-pound Sunline Sniper for the
Not surprising.
under docks it was 20. Every other time I throw 16 on my jigs. If I can get away with 16, I'm gonna throw 16 on jig.
Oh, woo. Michael Bradley, bougie. Hey, he doesn't want one of those 200 days to be his.
I don't want to waste any of those days.
Curvin H6289 says Wyatt can't fit all of his trophies in frame. What a problem to have. My gosh. As you said, are you like rod brand loyal, or do you have other rods you like utilizing as well in different scenarios?
For my cranking and everything, it's the St. Croix tournaments.
Okay. The
St. Croix Legend tournaments, because they still have a fairly stiff tip where I can like bump a bait, but they fold really, really well. So Shimano wants to work with me on making a good cranking rod. They can
come on, Shimano, listen up. I'm sure they're just over here in live right now, just listening in, just looking for someone to sponsor, because I'm sure they don't have enough inquiries every second of every day. You never know.
Yeah,
you never know.
Yeah.
Are you reel loyal, brand loyal, or no?
It's Shimano for the reels.
All right. Nothing else.
I played around with lures. I try and use a little bit of everything. I try and try them all out. Like I've tried a bunch of the lures. I've tried a bunch of the Abus and things like that. Good, but the Shimano reels just have the torque to them. They just have the power turning the handle. Yeah,
and when you're jig fishing, that's kind of important. I had a question over here from Army Fishing. He says, "Do you wait a sec?" We're talking. I think this is in context of jig fishing. Do you wait a sec, or do you set as soon as you feel them? Never had much luck with them, but haven't fished them that much. Going to throw them and big swim baits a lot more this season.
As soon as you feel them.
Yeah.
As soon as you feel them, reel down and hit them. I don't like all my jigs don't have that super heavy weed guard, so I'm not cracking them as hard as I possibly can. I'm trying to do just a nice, good hook set into them, but as soon as you feel it.
All right, I like it. I'm gonna switch gears to some of the questions. Oh, wait a second. Let me go back. I remembered you pulled up all your jigs, but you also pulled up something else. What other lures have been good to you this year?
The 6XDs. I love the 6XD. I'll say that guy right there.
So you fishing this in the main river channel? Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Tennessee River channel?
So I had Chickamauga and then Nickajack this year.
Okay.
Yep. I caught a couple of 20s at Nickajack earlier this year. And that guy right there, just a regular Tennessee shad 6XD. I found them on sale at Academy for $5, so I kind of like cleared the whole shelf.
Oh wow, that is a deal. What do those run usually? Like 15 plus?
They're like $7-8 now. Inflation.
Oh, are they?
Wild.
That's not bad. That's not crazy. All right. So you like cranking, you like jigging. Would you say those are your kind of confidence areas, or do you have a couple others? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
so a lot of other people are throwing, chatterbaits, jackhammers, all that stuff. Just a few weeks ago on Gunnersville, you're throwing jigs. Were you throwing bladed jigs at all?
For the Hero Cup, the final day tournament, I dropped the jig and everything and went out and threw a chatterbait.
Just had some fun with chatterbait. Were you as successful or no?
Still won.
All right. Well, successful. That's right.
Still, it was I was throwing the jig and throwing the jig on docks, and it was kind of that listening to the fish moment. I lost 6 fish in a row. Like they would either thump it and I'd miss them, or I'd set the hook on them and they just kind of pull off, and I'm just kind of going through in my head like what is happening here. And I cut it off and I sat down to retie, and I just was looking on. I heard splash and I looked off to my right and I just saw this school of fish blowing up like 50 yards away, and I was sitting there just thinking to myself, I'm like, those don't really look like small fish. So threw the jig rod down, picked up the chatterbait, and went out there and caught like 90 something inches, 15, 20 minutes just out on that flat.
You caught all those on that blow up over a period of 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
You couldn't take pictures and release videos fast enough.
I didn't submit some fish. I was just take the picture, throw them back in the water, start casting again, and submit it whenever it was done.
Oh, you're in the right place, right time.
I mean, it's one of those, like I've been listening to the fish a lot. Gabby's on here watching, and she always tells me like, hey, if it's not working, stop doing that. It's super simple, but I try not to like fight the power, if you will, whenever I'm out there. Like if something's not working, there's maybe a reason to it. And I've done that a handful of times this year now, and it's
so this would be really difficult. So what you guys are hearing is literally the day before you won on a jig, right?
The past 5 days I've been throwing a jig.
Yeah, and here's literally the next day was the Hero Cup, by the way, for those of you who aren't familiar. And he was like, okay, I'm going to move off of the jig that has just been wildly successful for me and move over to another lure. And so listening to a fish is a understatement at this particular moment. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. If you got a question for Wyatt, let me know. Curvin says it's interesting. I only throw big baits here in central Pennsylvania. I guess it comes down to the style of fishing, but I do super well on big fish. 100%.
You can make it work up there.
So what bladed jig were you throwing, or did you say
that one was just a baby jack? Yep, because they were. I'd seen some dead shad floating around, and they were like yay big. So I took a baby jack and I cut like half an inch off the skirt just to make it even smaller.
Okay.
And then I cut a trailer in half just to make it this super, super tiny little profile, and just kind of bouncing that across a little point that was out there.
What's your trailer of choice for a baby jack?
That one was the Zoom shimmer shad, something like that.
Okay. Do you have does it really even matter to you, or you're just looking for the color?
Yeah, just trying to match the color.
Okay. So since you're a big jig fisherman, what are your go-to trailers for that?
That one is the Max Scent, Berkeley Max Scent, the Creature Hog. Yep, 100%.
You never use anything else, or you're like, that's it. That's
it. It's on every single one. That guy right there, little Max Scent Creature Hog, super, super dried out, but that one right there, and super glue it on there if you're going to be skipping a jig. See, if you super glue it on there, it'll last all day.
I like it. Fair cloth out. Good stuff tonight. Let's see some of these questions here. Here we go. Steven Sturgeon's got a question for you. He was down at the KBF Nationals as well. Met him for the first time. Good guy. Questions for you. Wyatt, have you ever tried reels that don't have the adjustable drag?
The Ardent reel. I haven't tried it, but my drag's also kind of loose for the most part. It slips a little bit whenever I'm, I'll adjust it on the fly, but I don't want it cranked all the way down, because if you get that big fish that's trying to run, I don't want to rip that hook out.
Got it. With your 5/0 hooks. I like it.
Got to finesse it somewhere.
Yeah, right. Bass AF. Very true from me last week. Didn't have a bite for 2 hours. Made the switch and boom, went from casting parallel to perpendicular to the bank. Sometimes it's those little nuances.
Yeah. Listen to the fish.
Listen to the fish. So when you say listen to the fish, it can be kind of mystical. In your scenario, yeah, you could just listen to them because they're splashing 50 yards from you. However, if they're not splashing 50 yards from you, how long do you usually have to be like, hey, I was slaying them on the jig for the last 4 or 5 days.
Yeah.
There's a trophy in my truck. What goes through your mind? You're like, put this down, try something else. I mean, some other different scenario where the bass aren't literally telling you, come catch me with their tails.
When you've given it like a reasonable amount of time, I mean, I know like at Lake Fork earlier in the spring, I was sitting on that roadbed, and I was fishing just a little dip in the roadbed, and my first couple of casts I'd caught a handful of fish, and I'd lost a handful of fish. I lost one. I was like 23, 24, but
oh gosh.
I caught a 20, I caught a 22, and then I caught like a 14 or a 16 off of it. And then I didn't get another bite for like 45 minutes. And I'm like, can I sit here and grind this out, or do I need to just start moving and try and finish out the limit and things like that? It's kind of like looking at the conditions around, like, is something changing? Is something changing around me that I'm missing that the fish are reacting to? So that at Lake Fork, the sun was coming up, and those fish were moving off of that point to kind of go suspend. And after about 30 minutes or so, after I caught my last fish of just not catching anything, I changed up and started moving.
Okay. So 30 minutes. Is that usually you're like, hey, wait a second. But 30 minutes,
like
I need to change something, because
if I pull up somewhere and I make a cast and I catch a fish, and I make 2 or 3 more casts and catch a fish, and I make 2 or 3 more casts, catch a fish, and then I don't catch a fish after 10, 15, 20 casts, and I like something in my head starts going, we need to start going somewhere else, or something needs to change, like a reasonable amount of time. I'm looking for, 5 fish a day that are solid keeper fish. So I've got an 8-hour day. So every hour and a half, I need to be catching a fish at the very least. If I don't catch a fish in an hour and a half, then it's something drastically needs to change. But kind of timing off the last time that I caught a fish.
I'm telling you, this is one of the juiciest podcasts I've had when it comes to tournament angling. No, this is good. But there's some things that you're saying that I haven't, and maybe it's just how you're packaging it, like as a whole. But it's a lot more comprehensive, I believe, that most people think. Like, you eat, sleep, drink bass fishing, and I freaking love it, because I
warned you at the start.
We're all freaks. We're all freaks. Here's a couple of questions for you. Let me see here. Curvin, got a question for you. Wyatt, do you throw jigs in the winter as well? How cold of the water would you not throw a jig, or downsize it, or would you downsize it?
So
because I'm going to throw in a question there.
It kind of goes away from at least around here, the fish start to move off docks because they start moving into that little bit deeper water. So I'll turn into a football. I'll turn into a football jig, a 1/2 ounce football jig, and I'll fish that down to 30 foot of water or so. And beyond that, if they start suspending or anything, then I'm kind of lost on where they go, or start blade baiting and getting into that crazy stuff. But I try and make it work as long as I can, because just I enjoy it. Either the football. I enjoy the football jig time as well.
All right, I like it.
But yeah,
another question. This is a scenario question coming in from Michael Bradley. Grinder of a tournament, last half hour, you need that kicker to fill your limit. What are you throwing? He's holding it.
That guy right there.
You're heading to the docks.
I mean, it was also in the. I kind of go based off what I think I'm going to need for that day. What I think I'm going to need for that tournament is, and what I'm kind of geared towards. So I know on Gunnersville, I was looking for that 100 inches, like, right? In Gunnersville fall, you're looking for 100 inches. If I catch a fish under 18 inches, it doesn't count. It doesn't, at least in practice, whenever I'm going out there, it doesn't count. I'm fishing for those 18, 19, 20-inch fish.
Yep.
So that just kind of helps narrow the thing. And whatever I caught those fish, those 18+ inch fish, or, if I go somewhere where a 16-inch fish is average, if I'm catching 16, 17-inch fish, that's kind of what I'm going to target and stick with. So whatever I'm catching those, those tournament grade fish on.
18 plus. You're not even counting the 17.75s.
Yeah, because my very first day of practice out there on Gunnersville, I went and I was throwing I threw a chatterbait a little bit. I caught some 14, 15s, chucked them back, and I went up to a dock and I fished the front of the dock, didn't catch anything, and I went all the way to the back, and I was probably 10 feet away from the dock, and I skipped the jig under there and caught a 17 3/4. Skipped the jig back up under there again, caught an 18 3/4. Skipped it up under there again and caught an 18.5. Just three casts under the same dock, and I was like, well, those 18s are what I'm looking. Those 18 3/4 are kind of what I'm looking for. So
now, when you say the back of the dock, you talking the gangplank, or are you talking literally the back of the
last, like the back quarter or so, the back third?
Got it.
Yep.
Got it. I like it. Kayak Jack, Marty in here. What knot do you use to attach your jig to the line? Palomar. I'm there with you. Bass AF said, I have trouble finding that kicker bass during tournaments. I quickly catch my limit, but tend to bog down quite a bit. Guess I need to make a change sooner or move to a different area. I like it.
That depends on, like, if you're sitting there throwing a shaky head and you catch your limit and you keep catching 14, 15, things like that, change to a bigger lure, throw it through that same area. Like if you're around this place, you can catch those bigger fish out of those schools. But like if you're down in Florida or somewhere and you're catching 14, you need to change a little. Like you're close, but you need to change a little bit.
So do you notice when you're scoping, do you scope under docks? Do you like okay. Are you
very, very much so?
Love scoping shallow water.
Yeah,
and doing that perspective mode, or I believe it's called scout mode, or whichever company calls it.
I couldn't do it at Gunnersville, but if there's 6 to 7 foot, I mean, like 3 to 6 or 7 foot under those docks, I will scope them. Absolutely.
Okay. What do you, when you first started scoping under docks, from what you knew to what you learned, what was the biggest takeaway? You're like, whoa, didn't expect that.
Of watching the fish come to the lure.
That was it.
Yeah. Like you can throw the jig up under there, and the fish that are 10 feet away or something will come over to it. Like you don't have to sit there and pitch every single pole. I used to like fish every single gap underneath the docks, but now I just shoot it up under there, and you can, if you're scoping, you can see the fish start moving towards it.
So will you throw again? What scenario will you throw again?
If they don't eat it, like if they swim all the way over to it and they just don't eat it, I'm probably not even going to cast in there again.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there any scenario where you would throw a dock at different angles outside of it being just a massive dock?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if it's massive, I'll go around the back, but other than that,
really, you just throw it once and go.
Yeah, with live, you can see under the whole thing, and like you can pick out like, hey, there's a fish sitting next to that third pole back, and you can throw it that third pole and drop it on their head, or you can throw it up under the dock and you can see the fish kind of they'll just kind of appear under there and start coming towards it.
Fascinating, folks. If you got a question for Wyatt, throw that in. We got pushing around 60 live at one point. It's pretty awesome. If you haven't hit that like button, please go ahead and hit that. We'll get a little extra yardage of this video on YouTube's after it's all said and done. Steven Sturgeon's got a question for you. So does the typical early morning topwater bite even figure into your tournament strategy?
Yeah. I mean, I try for it. I try whenever I can. I think the second day of the second qualifying day, I caught an 18 on a buzzbait.
Okay.
So, I mean, I try and make it work, but if I'm throwing it for 20, 30 minutes and I don't get a bite or anything on it, or I'm not getting that nice bubble trail behind the buzzbait.
Okay.
Yeah. Put it down.
I need
the fish to react to something.
Are there any like green flag conditions that like it's going to tell you, hey, this is going to be a big
When you're getting
bass
when you throw the buzz
bite?
bait and it's leaving that bubble trail the whole cast behind the buzz bait.
What's coming together to do that, and why?
I don't know. It's just
something about it
feels right. Yeah,
it feels. I did ask you what it feels like, so this is good. Have you ever? I asked Fluke this a couple weeks ago, and I'm like kind of geeking out on it. To what degree do you even look at like feeding windows? Does that even play for you at all?
I've talked to Gene and Mike because I've talked to the tournament directors or the guys who are judging fish, and I'm like, do you notice like is there certain times where everybody on the lake just starts catching fish? And they tell me like, yeah, there's definitely windows where you'll start to see a bunch of fish get popped into the leaderboard, but I don't really pay attention to them for the most part.
Interesting. But when I was talking to Gene, he was like, okay, it's like everyone's fit. It's not like you're going to stop fishing and start fishing at this time. It's that you're going to circle back to your A spots potentially during that time. I don't know.
So, it depends. I didn't hit any of my spots twice. I mean, I hit them each day. Like I made one loop through everything and kind of one pass through everything that time.
So your milk run was literally 8 hours long then.
Yeah. It was probably, I think it was an 8 to 10 mile stretch.
All right. So this is fascinating because this is, I can't believe we didn't even talk about this. How many days did you scan?
This past tournament, I didn't scan.
You didn't scan?
No.
Once
I fished.
What's the reason for that? Where you just didn't have the time, or the lake better than most lakes?
Like it's Gunnersville in the fall. I didn't feel like that any kind of offshore bite was gonna be. I figured it was gonna be some kind of like frog bite possibly going on, chatterbait bite going on, and I can't. I found a couple little cuts and things like that in the grass on a chatterbait, but I wasn't catching those 18-inch plus fish on it. So like I scanned a couple areas and I found little like bare spots in the grass where you could see fish set up to ambush shad and stuff, but I couldn't catch anything until that very final day. Everything I was catching was 15, 16 inches.
So did you map study your milk run then? Like in your head?
I studied it for docks. I looked for the largest stretch of docks that I could find on the whole lake.
And literally you just spent you never fished the same place twice and you just went.
I hadn't fished that stretch of that part of the lake before, but
it didn't matter because you knew what you were looking for and you found.
I just knew that like I'm gonna hit 200 docks in a day and I'm gonna come up with 5 decent fish somewhere along those.
No, solid. But yeah, it worked. By the way, I love it. What would you say are some? I don't know. We kind of talked about it a little bit, but let me know if this sparks something in your mind. What are like some of the top 3 big bass locations a lot of anglers will consistently overlook that you've been like?
Points, like point, just big giant flat points. Like they're out there.
Give us an idea of a giant flat point. You talking 100 yards, 200 yards?
Yeah, I mean just that quick access to deep water. They have to have quick access to deep water. You want a ton of bait fish around, and I mean just somewhere where those fish can go from their winter location to their spawning place in the shortest amount of distance, the shortest distance where they can go from deep water to shallow water.
Got it. So you're looking for, when you're looking at your map study, you're looking for big flats, and you're looking for, hey, where's the path to deepest water in the shortest amount of time.
Yeah.
And mapping it out.
You just pick the points, pick the humps, pick the stuff that's along that route, and that's what I'm going to scan.
So outside of Gunnersville, moving apart from that, what's your process for identifying those A quality versus C quality water?
It's map study, scanning, and then fishing it. Because I mean, I'm gonna pick out. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna go say, check the 5 foot depth range, check the 10 foot depth range, check the 15 foot depth range, and wherever I start getting bit, that's where I'll put my little depth highlight on, and I can, just kind of map out the same areas.
All right. I'm reading some of the comments over here. I like it. Wyatt tells fish when they're feeding windows. You've turned into Chuck Wyatt over here. Everyone's like, Wyatt tells fish when their feeding windows are. Bass start butting with he starts hitting the water. Actually, I literally had someone write, you were the sledgehammer, not just a hammer, the sledgehammer of kayak bass fishing. That's next level for people commenting today. I love it. We'll start laying this plane here in a little bit. We're an hour and 16. That went fast. So let's talk a little bit about the mentally in tournaments, right? And I even look back on some of the things I would have done differently mentally in the tournaments I was in. I came out of the game hot, and then the bite died for me. And it's like looking back with hindsight's 2020. You're like, oh, I would have done this differently, and this differently, and this differently, and potentially even like almost mentally giving up. So
I have a couple days. I have times like that, and like I said, Gabby, she kind of keeps me focused because like when I'm skipping a jig and I hit the dock and I reel it in, I skip it again, I hit the dock again, and I skip it again, I hit the dock again, and like that third or fourth time, I'm just like, what am I doing with my life here? Like what's happening? And I just kind of got to like pause for a second.
Do you ever find yourself like, what are some of the things that you looked back on tournaments, maybe that you haven't won or got close to winning? Those are the worst. Like this is what I would have done differently. And what are the themes that in your own style fishing?
Kind of like going too fast, going past stuff. So, I mean, I've had, what did I have? Brain fart on it. Was it Dale Hollow earlier this year?
Okay.
I was for the Bassmaster. I was catching fish off beds that I was catching fish off beds that I could kind of barely see, and they were 16, like 16 inches or so. And I got super focused on catching all those bed fish and didn't notice that I was going over the larger fish because I was sight fishing in 4 or 5 foot of water for those 15, 16 inches.
Yeah.
And if I had been looking at my graph or if I had paid attention, that little bit deeper stretch of water is where the tournament was won. It was won. Like I was fishing 3 to 4 foot on beds. The guys that won were bed fishing in like 6 to 8 foot of water. They were doing a lot of like live sitting with beds. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you ever have issues with like you kind of gave up too early?
Yeah, I had the Kissimmee earlier this year where I found that Florida fishery where if you find the 15 inchers, you find those 14, 15 inchers, the males, the females are like that next step out in the deeper water, like they're coming in, and I got sucked into those 15 inchers and just like, what am I doing here? And then by the time I figured it out, I think I caught a 19 and a half incher with like an hour left. And it was just like, what?
Live and learn. And for us, we just live and learn from your mistakes, which seem to have done pretty well for you. And so, man, I appreciate having you on. This has been fun. I got to get your teammate. Now you fish with Faircloth, right?
Justin for the TKS, yeah.
That's your TKS. And if you guys look up behind him, for those listening in, you can't see this. Championship on Lake Murray?
That was Lake Murray. So we won Lake Murray and we won Nickajack this year.
Which also make you are you the team of the year or no?
No, that was Abby and Jody.
I bet you came in second.
Close. Abby and Jody, and then Russ and Paris, and then we were third.
Got it. All right, top 3. You guys are just hammering out there. I love it. Let me see if I have any more comments from. Oh, here we go. Johnny Bennett. Do you do most of your fishing standing or sitting?
I back and forth. Like I was standing a good bit I think I was standing the whole time at Gunnersville. But if I'm fishing offshore or anything like that, I'll be sitting down. But back and forth. That's part of the reason I've got the crossbar for the graphs all the way up front, so that I can stand and I can stand up front, look down, and still see my graphs because I used to have the graph behind right next to the seat, and I think that was part of the Dale Hollow thing is I couldn't see my graph, but I was standing up sight fishing, and if I had been sitting down, I'd seen those fish on the graph that I was going over.
No, I like it.
Yep.
So, Wyatt, you love fishing. I had a question for you. This is a question for me. You love it so much. You're 200 days on the water, more if you could. You got this thing called a job in your way. But I feel like you're good enough, and if you cranked on content, you could do this full time.
Yeah.
Right. I'm listening to you speak. You're knowledgeable. You got more trophies than most of us will get in a lifetime. What's in your way? I guess
I've got to tune that research and the lake research and the map study and everything on the content creation, because you post a ton, and there's work. People don't understand there is work put into that. I mean, the hours I put in watching and doing map study, you probably do just the same with your content, posting everything. Tell me how many hours do you have? Because I saw you posted the update today for the show that we're having tonight, and I had to scroll past 3 or 4 things that you posted after.
Since then, yeah, I'm at 3 shorts a day.
Yeah,
a post a day,
and that's hours and hours of work that you got going on.
Yeah, it's a system. I've got it down to a repeatable system.
Yep, I got to work on getting that system.
Yeah, you gotta figure out your system, and it's a monster that you keep feeding. But it's time, and but if you're like me, when you're doing the map study, you're watching the bass fishing, and you're spending all this time what we called work. It's not actually work. You freaking love it. You're like, I want more of it. That's what I am with content.
Yeah.
And fishing and content creation around fishing. I love it. Right. Yeah. And so I love the psychology. It's like a big giant social experiment. It's like how people interact and engage, and it's just really fascinating to me. And Wendell's a content sledgehammer. All right. I'll take it. I will take it. Bass said you'd have to record and edit on the water. Yeah, it's like you almost got to pick your poison. What is it that you want to do? Because it's I'm not saying
you're taking time out of your fishing day to
yeah. And so, do you want to be a really great tournament angler? Well, maybe you can't be a content creator and do this at the same time. Maybe there's not enough margin, or maybe there is. I don't know, but I don't know. I just feel like after talking to you, like you could do this. I think you can make a run at it, even if it was like a side project. And I know that you're doing it. So I guess this gets into my last question tonight. Yeah. Where can people follow you? Where can they learn more? Where can they connect? But don't get me wrong. You have the social channels. It's not that you're not putting any work into it. So,
so
where can we find you at?
I've got Wham Fishing Instagram, Wham Fishing YouTube. Where I'll say I just posted the national championship the whole day. I think I missed 2 fish on there, but I got the whole day. I've got some tips and stuff in there on the YouTube channel, and then I'm going to be posting on Instagram as well. Both those you can follow me. I do have the Facebook, but it got hacked and I've lost access to that. But
oh no way! What happened?
It started there. There were a couple other accounts that popped up, and it disconnected my phone number from it, and it's just a mess to get back into it. But Instagram, YouTube, I've got those 2 going. So we're almost 1,000 subscribers.
Oh, are you close to monetizing?
I think little getting there.
Close. Well, hopefully you get a few more followers today. And trust me, if you want to learn and upgrade your fishing, head over there. Actually, I'm not even sure if I'm subscribed, so you're going to get at least one more subscriber here in a minute. But love a fellow content creator, love a fellow angler. Hey, here I'm not. Usually, I'll go to someone's page and do a lot of research before the show, but I had so many questions on my own. It's like we probably didn't get through 25 questions that I had for you, so I guess we're just gonna have to have it on again. We'll
be back next week for part 2.
There we go. See, Steven Sturgeon said he's subscribing after the show.
Appreciate it, guys.
2. You got 2 more. I love it. Well, Wyatt, thank you so much. And next week I got New Canoe. I got the owners of New Canoe on, and we're going to be talking, of course, fishing kayaks. And if you don't know a whole lot about that company, I will see you next Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on the Kayak Fishing Obsessed podcast. Wyatt, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yep, I'll see you.
All right, y'all.